So finally, right, I've been watching Freddie Tavarish for years. I met him in 2019 at the Amazing SEMA show where he unveiled his Lamborghini Murcielago from Fast and Furious. He was with the guys from DDE and he said, "One day, mate, you have to come to my shop in Florida." I know it took 3 years, but we finally got there. Checked out his amazing collection, even with Matt Armstrong in the back of the workshop building his amazing GT3 in the most amazing purple colour. He pulled out some cars and gave us an amazing shop tour. My favourite car in his collection truly is the Hellcat. To end up with a car that they swapped everything over in 3 days. Orange screams General Lee. The engine is just another level. And to think that he had a car that was a V6 parts car done 90,000 miles. This thing was a box of dicks, right? And basically, he has taken everything good from what Dodge gave him to use, and all he had to give back was a chassis. So using that parts car in 3 days, making it a running and driving car, was another level. And to see when you drive that car, it feels like you're in a brand new car. The stitching is perfect, that everything works. There's not a warning light on the dash, and that car pulls, as you can see in this video, like it should pull. You know, Dodge, if you're out there, I know the reason you didn't make a two-door Charger, and it's your own fault, okay? Back in the 70s when you had a two-door Challenger and a two-door Charger, and you could compete against who wanted what, that's fair enough. And today the Charger was a four-door sedan for the family market, and the two-door Challenger was for the muscle car market, but you should have always done a two-door. If there is a Charger out there that can contend with the General Lee two-door Charger of its time, today that is the car of dreams. Built by a bunch of crazy cooters in a garage to come out with that car is second to none. But the finale was everything we expected and everything we hoped that wasn't going to happen. He pulled out his amazing McLaren, and this car to me is absolutely beautiful. The Tiffany blue with the brown interior, it reminds me of a basketball that has exploded. Like, it is absolutely a piece of artwork, and it sounds amazing. It's roaring. He pulls it outside and I look around it and I noticed a fleck in the paint is like something I've never seen, and the gold accents on the bodywork is just something you would never do as a human being, but as an extraterrestrial Tavarish, it works. Like, it is a piece of art form. He says, "Hey man, before I take everyone out, do you want to go for a blast?" And you know, the only other supercar I've ever been in was the amazing convertible Murcielago that Ed's got, the black Batmobile. And I drove that car, and it's the only supercar I've ever driven. And he's like, "Come on, let's go for a blast." And I'm just so glad that I was not the guy that was driving his McLaren when this happened. And we pulled out of the workshop, and I look over to my buddy, Scoot Dog Millionaire, and give him a smile and a bit of a roar because I was absolutely buzzing in the passenger seat. I mean, I've never been in a McLaren, let alone been anywhere near one in this vicinity. And we pull up the road and we pull onto the street. And you know, this car has been running for a good 5-10 minutes. The temperatures are up, it's running well, and it sounds amazing. It pulls away to the point where it forces me into the back of the seat with like a feeling I've never felt before, you know. And not only am I excited to be with my friend, but I'm in something that he has hand built. The only time I've ever seen this car is in a destroyed and dilapidated manner. Now this thing is roaring with all its might, and we are blasting up the road. We did a big risk assessment first, and it wasn't very risky, so we were fine to be on the roads, and there was no one around. Went up the road, turned right, and he's like, "Right, okay, we're going for it." So I'm filming, I've got my GoPro in hand, we pull away in first, into second, and we're just about to peel away. And 10 minutes before this, okay, me and Freddie were removing I call it the shit shield underneath the car, which is basically designed for the aerodynamics. Doesn't let air get up inside the car. What he'd done is he removed this panel to replace the air ducting, which directs air into the air conditioning pump, which gets quite hot. He replaced it, rebolted it back in place. We went down the road. At this point, my hair, obviously I look like Ken, my hair is flying off. I'm getting excited. My heart's pounding out my chest to hear, and I'm thinking that panel we just fitted somehow has come detached. It sounds like it is dragging metal along the floor, you know. And I look at Freddie and I'm like, "Hey, I think something just fell off." He's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure something fell off." He looks down at the gauges, looks in the rearview mirror, and we know it's game over. The McLaren engine is toast. I mean, I'm really sorry for the language I use, which I'm going to mask with a bird noise, but we get out the car to see catastrophic failure. There is about 7 to 8 litres of engine oil pouring out from underneath this car, and the dents in this aluminum sump looks like there is a child beating their way out with a hammer. Like there is dents everywhere, and there is basically a hose pipe of engine oil pouring out where the aircon evaporator pipe would be. At this point in my life, I've got the camera in my hand, and I've gone from pure excitement to have, you know, like when you watch a car accident unfold, if you've ever seen one, you have this feeling where you're filming it, you're excited about the situation, something's happening in your mind. As a good videographer, your eyes should be looking at the screen filming, because the minute you go, oh my God, then you've ruined the shot, right? It's basically that situation. So I am at the point where I'm with this guy who's basically just destroyed his baby. Is he going to want a guy to throw a camera in his face, or do I respectfully turn it off? Well, because he is the guy he is and he built this car, and in my opinion, he's got as far as he could in relation to content. You know, he's built it, he's aced it, and the content is now done. That car is done. Well, now he has just reopened that book. You know, he can now bring that thing back to life, bigger, better, faster, louder. And, you know, I follow him around with a camera, and he is smiling. Like he is trying to look at the positives, like he's trying to be enthusiastic to the situation, but you can tell his heart's been ripped out. I got Scott Ratarassa, we got Chiro from Petronism, Scoot Supercars. Everyone turns up, including Mike and all his amazing team. And we try to get it on the trailer, but where the car needs to be run in to get that front suspension lift up to get it on the trailer, there was just no way. So we had to do the walk of shame, you know, 2 o'clock in the morning when you shouldn't be with the lady you're with, but you're walking back home. We are walking back home with a car that, you know, has not made it on its first road trip with Sam from Art Up Garage. And we're pushing it back, and this guy pulls back and goes, "Hey man, you blow the engine?" And we go, "Yeah." He goes, "Nice." And you can just see everyone's reaction. Like, no one was expecting, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be pushing a McLaren down the road with this team of amazing people. We're there as a team, we're helping him push it back. We get it back to the shop, and you can purely see this is like window out the side of the block moment. This is game over. You know, Freddie's words, "Oh, well, we'll put a 4-litre in it." You know, there is a rainbow at the end of this monumental, catastrophic failure. I think you can get a short block for around $65,000. I think a tall block is probably 110, 120. But you know what? You could buy 20 fake Ferraris for that. So in all these situations, Freddie knows that I am there for one thing. I'm there as a friend. Secondary to that, he's going to allow me to take videos and footage. And, you know, we're all in the same room here. When he comes to the UK, I'm going to allow him to film whatever he wants. And when I came to the US, you know, he has basically reciprocated that. He's allowed me to film whatever I want. He's taken me up the road in his amazing McLaren, doing shop tours, showing me his new purchases, which are unbelievable. And, you know, going up the road, I'm filming this, right, with my GoPro. And I know there's better cameras out there, but for what I need that's versatile, hold it in my hand and comfortable, and filming 5.7K, it is perfect. But this car had a conversation with my camera, okay? I don't believe in extraterrestrials or this crazy stuff, but this situation tells me that that car was telling my camera it was having an issue, all right? So my camera has worked perfectly for the last 2 years I've had it, right? When I jumped in that McLaren, from the minute I opened the door till I got into us having a chat, my audio was corrupted beyond. Like, you couldn't hear a word we were saying. It's just, it's vile, right? The engine is going, "Don't drive me. I'm trying to communicate with something else that's electronic, and I'm completely screwed. Help me out here, guys. Just stop what you're doing," right? The second that engine goes bang, that engine had no way of communicating with my GoPro anymore. And therefore, at that point, my audio came back within a millisecond. And from that point on, the audio was perfect. You basically explain that to me. There is something weird going on. Whether that engine was, I don't know, interfering with it in some kind of way. But I'm telling you, the second the engine blew, we look at each other, my audio comes back to life, and it is perfect. You cannot odds that. It was meant to happen. After the whole video was filmed, 18 minutes later, I looked at Freddie and he said, "Can I use some of your footage?" I went, "Man, do you know what? If you want the video, it's yours, man." And you know what? These situations happen. He built that car. He put his blood, his sweat, and some oil that's now on the floor into that car. And now, you know what? He deserves every inch of that footage. You know, he worked for it. It's his. We're a team, you know, we're families. It's how us car guys work.
When you get a ticket, it might look something like this, but the first thing that you need to do is take a picture of that ticket and send it to 305-305. That will get the ticket clinic on your case immediately. They've got brick and mortar offices in Georgia, Florida, and California, but they can help you find a ticket no matter where you get it in the United States by helping you find a local attorney that will do everything they can to help you avoid costly fines, insurance premium increases, points on your license, risk of suspension, even jail time. They've helped me out with this ticket and many others, and a lot of my friends as well. So check them out now at the link in the description below, or again, text your ticket to 305-305 to get the ticket clinic on your case. They are the perfect partner in your fight against any speeding ticket.